Let's explore how recent discoveries in quantum mechanics might help us understand the idea of a dynamic, unfolding reality, one that resonates with the ancient name given to Moses at the burning bush, Ehyeh Asher Ehyeh, often translated as "I will be what I will be." This isn't about proving God through science. It's about seeing whether the patterns we uncover in physics begin to echo something deeper, something that mystics, prophets, and sages have tried to express for centuries. That reality isn't fixed, it's relational, it's alive, and we're not separate from it. Let's start with the phenomenon of quantum entanglement. In 2015, scientists finally closed all the major loopholes in experiments confirming entanglement. That's the strange behavior where two particles, even when separated by great distances, remain linked in such a way that measuring one instantly affects the other. It's as if they're not really two particles, but one system expressing itself across space. Some experiments have even used starlight from billions of years ago to choose detector settings, eliminating any possibility of hidden coordination. And yet, entanglement still held. This suggests that reality itself is deeply non-local. That separation, at the quantum level, is an illusion. If that sounds spiritual, it is. These results imply a hidden unity beneath space and time, a kind of cosmic connectedness, a web where everything is tied to everything else. For some, this reflects the idea of a divine presence that interpenetrates all things, not above the world, but within it, not distant, but entangled. Now let's move to the role of the observer. Quantum mechanics tells us that a particle doesn't have a definite state until it's observed. Before that, it exists in a superposition, a blend of all possible states. Only through observation does one possibility become real. In 2019, scientists carried out a version of Wigner's friend, a thought experiment where two observers witness the same event but come away with contradictory experiences. And yet, both are right. The results suggest that there may be no single objective reality. What becomes real depends on who's looking. In short, reality might not be fully formed until it's experienced. This opens a powerful door. The observer is not just passive. The observer helps bring the world into being. Some have taken this to mean that consciousness plays a deeper role in the universe than we thought. That awareness is not an accidental byproduct of matter, but something fundamental. A kind of participatory presence, helping the universe unfold. Then there's the question of time. In a 2017 satellite-based experiment inspired by John Wheeler's delayed choice thought experiment, photons were sent from space down to Earth. After they had already begun their journey, scientists decided whether to observe them as particles or waves. And somehow, that future choice affected how they had behaved in the past. It sounds impossible, but the data shows quantum events don't lock in until the moment of measurement, even if that moment comes after the event. This suggests that the past is not as fixed as we think, that the present and even the future might have a hand in shaping what we call the past. Some physicists are exploring retrocausality, the idea that future measurement settings could influence past events at the quantum level, not in a sci-fi time travel way, but as a natural consequence of time-symmetric laws, constantly emerging as if it were being created anew at every moment. This aligns beautifully with the ancient phrase given to Moses, Ehyeh Asher Ehyeh. I will be what I will be, not a noun, a verb, a becoming. The quantum universe is not a finished thing. It's a process, a mystery, a dynamic unfolding. And it seems we are part of it, not just as observers, but as participants. We are, in a very real sense, embedded in the flame. In other words, the world we experience is not all that is. It's the result of a filtering process, a selection among possibilities, a kind of ongoing, creative narrowing of potential into actuality. That's not unlike creation itself. The idea that the world is continuously called into being, that out of infinite options, a specific reality is chosen, moment by moment. Put all this together, and we get something stunning. Quantum mechanics shows us a universe that is deeply interconnected, participatory in nature, not locked into a fixed timeline, infused with the possibility that mind, and perhaps even purpose, plays a role in what becomes real. This bends our usual idea of cause and effect, and it resonates with spiritual teachings that say the divine sees all of time at once, that past, present, and future are held in one unfolding vision. Now consider the mind. For years, scientists debated whether consciousness could be linked to quantum processes. The idea was controversial, but new evidence is giving it credibility. In 2024, researchers studying anesthesia found that consciousness might depend on quantum structures in the brain, specifically tiny structures called microtubules. When rats were given a drug that stabilized their microtubules, they were harder to put under anesthesia. That suggests consciousness arises from quantum processes inside the brain, and disrupting those processes ends awareness. If this holds true, it supports the idea that mind is not just a chemical illusion, it's a quantum event, one that taps into the deeper fabric of reality. Some thinkers go further. They suggest consciousness may be a basic part of nature, that all matter, even electrons, may contain some seed of awareness. This echoes ideas from ancient philosophy, panpsychism, where mind exists throughout nature, or panentheism, where all things exist within the divine mind. And finally, how does our everyday world, this stable, classical world of tables and trees, arise from quantum fuzz? Enter quantum Darwinism. Recent experiments have confirmed that our stable reality emerges from quantum uncertainty through a process of environmental selection. The environment, acting like a giant observer, filters out unstable quantum states and amplifies those that can leave a lasting imprint. These pointer states become classical reality, the version we all agree on. So what does all this tell us? The deeper we look into matter, the less thingness we find. We see fields, probabilities, interactions, and at the center, choice, relationship, becoming. The universe isn't a fixed object. It's a process. Not a structure, but an unfolding. Quantum mechanics doesn't just allow for that, it requires it. A world where observation shapes outcome, where time is not a one-way street, and where consciousness, possibly, emerges from the same quantum fabric as stars. It doesn't prove a God in any traditional sense, but it opens a door. It shows us a cosmos that listens, a universe that doesn't just evolve, but responds. And that, strangely enough, echoes the oldest name ever given. I will be what I will be. Not a static deity, but a presence in process. A divine that unfolds through physics, through life, through us.